play before the hometown crowd here live in San Antonio, Texas.
Ready to go? Ready to go?
Looking at San Antonio, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Raptors in Toronto. They had a chance there right up to the end. They only lost by 3.
And, you know, you hate to use this word, but I really felt like it was a sorry effort that they put forth on the defensive side.
Boy, that's pretty harsh from you, Greg, but you're right. I mean, too many times we saw them slow to set up and get on D or late on their rotations, and they paid a big price for it.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. Setting the floor for the Suns. Bledsoe and 9 to the backcourt. Laying out there with John Lewis. And it's Tucker in at the 3.
Clearly, he's one of the best there is in the business when it comes to making that lead pass.
And it's Bledsoe off the drive. Down low. Lure.
Oh, and look at how well he led him in there. Really, he passed him open for that deuce.
Outside Aldridge. Screen by Duncan. Aldridge, the pass to Duncan. Shot clock at 5. Leonard, no luck. The Suns have gone 2 or 3 here to start off the game. What a year for the Suns in terms of transactions. Start of the season with Dragic and Thomas on the roster and moved them both, Clark, at the deadline.
And, you know, most folks saw the Dragic trade coming after his disagreements with the team. The Thomas trade was a bit of a surprise, though.
And that one's good. Parker. Parker against Bledsoe. Now about 2 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Parker with the steal. Outside, Green. The Spurs rebound. Fires for 3. No good. Now the Suns take it the other way. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
And what? Heck of a performance for them, particularly offensively. I mean, there were stretches of that game where everything seemed to be falling.
Ball movement was superb, majestic, and they got good shots and they made them. So it wasn't a surprise, but the ball movement was the key.
Knight hits them both.
And what an advantage. You really feel like you can always trust him when he's at the line.
Out of bounds, Phoenix takes possession. With a break in the action, let's go to the 2K leaderboard. These teams have been dialed in defensively this month. The Suns 5th.
What a month they've had defensively. I mean, they've really gotten after it on that end of the floor.
Bledsoe kicks to Lewis. The shot by Knight, no good.
If they could end every possession with that shot, they'd be happy. 9 times out of 10, that's an easy layup for them.
Here's Aldridge. That's tipped and stolen by Knight. And they're moving it up. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle on a lot of contact there.
I'll tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
It's not really a surprise at this point, but the Spurs were in the playoffs last year. 18th consecutive appearance.
Yeah, and they weren't in that usual top 3 spot, though. Although, had they won the last game instead of being the 6th, they could have been the 2nd.
Right.
Didn't have that home court advantage, and as they went up against the Clippers, it really cost them in that 7th game. Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Parker dishes to Aldridge. Green, the screen. Parker. Good, and Aldridge gets the assist.
And against the Clippers, the Spurs didn't have home court advantage. I mean, ended up playing a big part in that series. They ended up losing in Game 7 in Staples. with some questionable timekeeping, but that's not why they lost.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark. And that Spurs series sure didn't feel like a first-round matchup. I mean, you could have easily have seen either team playing for the title, regardless of who won the series. Both teams acknowledged that it felt like a conference finals matchup.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Phoenix looked to be on the verge of making it back into the playoffs last season. Ultimately, though, Greg, they faltered in the second half of the year.
Yeah, it was a three-team race. And after coming up short in 14, the Suns had the edge early. As you said, Kevin, they simply couldn't keep things going in the second half of the season.
Here's Mills. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. It's stolen by Morris.
Good defensive instincts on display there.
Warren the pass to Teletovic. Diaw with the steal. Green kicks to Ginobili. Knocks it loose. West against Price. Ginobili with the three. And he gets it to go. Ginobili's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
You know, guys, the Suns went from the 8th seed to finishing 10th in the West. I mean, it would have been a tough task for them to stay in the race, particularly after all the trades. I mean, their team was in transition.
Back to Green. West outside. Ginobili outside. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Diaw. Good work defensively by Morris.
Usually, if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points.
1 quarter in the books, and it's been up by 2. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And what stands out to you from the Suns in this one?
Well, they've dictated tempo with their defense and been able to force some turnovers.
Yeah, and you know, they've also done a good job, Greg, on their end of the floor by not throwing the ball away.
The always reliable Parker and Green in the backcourt. Kawhi Leonard is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Duncan in a center. That's the San Antonio 5. Here's Parker. Brandon Knight picking up that last basket. Parker with it. And it's Knight picking him up. Parker kicks to Green. And stolen by Booker. Good. And taking a quick look here at the hustle stats for Phoenix.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Outside Aldridge. There's Parker with the three. And it's Phoenix with the rebound. Victory eluded them last time in San Antonio when they took on the Spurs.
Yeah, and their last time out against this club, turnovers really did them in. Just way too many mistakes.
Yeah, sloppy play sabotage. I mean, they'll have to be much more focused this time around.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Well, it was. I mean, a tight game like this one, you'd think they'd have a little more energy at the defensive end than that.
Sonny Weems checks in for Phoenix. Phoenix leading by 4. Outside Knight. Inside. Here's Teletovic. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard.
Let's see how the Suns have performed over the last few weeks. 4th in field goal percentage. 5th in steals. And they are in the top 10 in team points per game.
And they've obviously been one of the elite shooting teams in the league, taking a very disciplined approach offensively, and they have the field goal percentage to prove it. And on the bench for the Suns is Jeff Hornacek, probably one of the tougher coaches in the league. He'll bend your ear if you make mental error.
Aldridge kicks to Leonard. And a great assist by Aldridge as that one goes in. Leonard's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. It's Knight with the drive. That's good. And the Suns lead by 5. And for Coach Hornacek, Greg, he learned from one of the toughest coaches as a player. You know, several trips to the finals. And you know this guy well, Clark. Jerry Sloan was the guy that molded Jeff Hornacek.
One of the outstanding coaches in the history of the NBA, Jerry Sloan. Although Hornacek saw all that success in Utah, this is a homecoming job for him because he started his career in Phoenix. You know, guys, that's what he does. He just loves to play that kind of attacking basketball.
How about 3 minutes gone in the second quarter of basketball? Weems dishes to Knight. That's no good, and now he's missed 2 and made 2. And the foul called on Brandon Knight. That's his first foul. So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. And Mills kicks it to West. Here's Marjanovic. 6 to shoot. Pass to Ginobili. Takes the 13-footer. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Ginobili's got his second basket of the night. Bledsoe passes to Len. Price kicks it to Tucker. Pass to Bledsoe. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there.
And listen, San Antonio is an older team, actually the oldest in the league last season. And because of injuries and days off, they didn't get to feel that preferred starting 5 a lot last year.
Morris is checked in for Lua. Spurs only used their preferred lineup less than half the season, but still a strong campaign. What, 22 games played with the starting lineup of Parker, Green, Leonard, Duncan, and Splitter.
And you know the Spurs will go on to use 23 different starting lineups, Kevin. That would be the 5th most in the NBA.
Well, the Spurs, Greg, great at home last year. That's not surprising to anyone who's paid attention. We expect that. They're just so tough at home year in and year out.
And Kevin, how about going 33-8 at home last season? And despite being the 6th seed, only the Hawks and Warriors, the 2 best records in the league, won more games at home. Hard to imagine you could be a 6th seed with that kind of success.
Green kicks to Duncan. Leonard attacking. That evens the score. Leonard's got 5 points now this quarter.
And not a great start for him in the first, but he's quickly starting to turn it around.
The fader. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D. And started hot, and he's only gotten harder.
16 seconds left to play in the first half. Bledsoe with it. Pass to Morris. To end the run. Oh, and he just knocked down the buzzer beater.
And now, your Spurs dance team.
And we welcome you back to more NBA action. Players looking hydrated and plenty of Gatorade to help them get their job done tonight. One guy who's been getting it done is Danny Green.
And in terms of points in that first half, you know, he's now at a point where we expect him to perform that way.
And Greg, that tells you all you need to know about what a talent he is. I mean, I'll bet he adds a lot more to his totals after the break.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. One guy who's been getting it done is Danny Green.
Boy, did he put on a show from beyond in that first half. Let's see if the halftime break has any cooling effect on him.
Well, I tell you what, we'll soon find out, because I guarantee they're going to keep feeding it to him behind the arc until he does cool off.
And on the floor for Jeff Hornacek starting the second half, we've got Alex Len. Bledsoe is out there with Booker. Then it's P.J. Tucker. And it's Lure in at the 4 shot. And Bledsoe, here we go. The quick look, no good that time. Duncan outside. Outside Aldridge. To the inside. And there's Green on the assist by Aldridge. Aldridge has got 4 assists now tonight.
And one thing that everybody loves about Coach Pop is his frankness. You get a taste of it in interviews, but he's as honest and straightforward with you as he is with anybody else.
All right, fans, one more time.
A little over a minute gone here in the second half. Now Booker, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. There's a good screen. 4 on the shot clock. Bledsoe. And he comes off the screen and slams it through.
And really, he epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skill as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Boy, that's a nice surge for them just when they needed it in a game that was so tight.
Well, you got Greg Popovich, and I think he puts this at times grumpy demeanor in more of a spotlight. He's playing along, as we all know, with the sideline reporters. He knows, Greg, you know this firsthand, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. He can be as compassionate a person, Clark, that you and I have ever been around.
Yeah, he's competitive, but he understands that we're all human, and he treats people the right way all the time.
And Phoenix making a change here. Here's a Teletovic is checked in for Len. T.J. Warren comes in for P.J. Tucker. Brandon Knight, he's checked in for Booker. And Ronnie Price has subbed in for Eric Bledsoe.
You know what? Didn't find a very good shot on that possession, but still able to get 2 points.
And it's good. And the Spurs lead by 1.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Launches it. Teletovic misses. San Antonio's gone 5 of 8 from three-point land. 15 points and a deep ball for them tonight. Here's the screen. Knight dishes to Teletovic. Yes, and Knight with the assist that time. Teletovic just got his second bucket of the night. Guys, we're not through 3 quarters of play, but 6 lead changes already in this one.
Yeah, it's been a really good game for sure. I mean, it looks like it's going to stay tight throughout.
Yeah, competitive, and I think we all can agree that we thought this would be the type of game that would come down to the end.
Now, here's Knight. He's got 8. Shot off the pick. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. For San Antonio, they've gone 3 of 4 so far in the third quarter from the field. Pretty good start to the half. Here's Marjanovic. And John Lure gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
And Phoenix making a change here. Morris is checked in. Green, no luck.
Yeah, and listen, sometimes even the best of us are going to miss the easiest of opportunities.
Warren the pass to Morris. Drills the baseline jumper. Morris has got his second basket. Spurs trail by 3. Here's Duncan. Knight grabs the board.
You rarely see him missing dunks. but the defender was right in his face on that one, and it threw him off just enough.
Green kicks to Aldridge. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Got that bucket in no time at all. Now it's a 5-point Phoenix lead.
His shooting has been outstanding here. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Knight dishes to Morris. Wing shot on the way. Misses off the left iron.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Boy, the defenders have to make sure they tag it.
And it is good! And as we conclude the third quarter, what a game. Neither team giving ground. Suns side quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. Parker and Green are the guard pairing. Aldridge out there with Duncan. And it's Leonard in the small forward position. That's the San Antonio Fox. And Bledsoe with the stuff.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time. And he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one. That's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. I mean, the screen was in the right spot. His feet were set. He would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal. They've been very untidy with the ball here. You commit turnovers when you try to do too much or you force it. They need to focus on making the simple play, good passes, and moving the ball around.
San Antonio calls timeout.
You know, the Phoenix Suns played well overall last season, but they still couldn't match up against some of the teams in the West. Had a hard time with in-conference battles.
And some changes here for the Spurs. West is checked in for Duncan. Ginobili comes in for Daniel Green. And it's Mills in for Tony Parker. And then for Phoenix, Markieff Morris is checked in for John Lure. And Sonny Weems subbed in for Brandon Knight. It's Aldridge penetrating. And he throws it down hard with one hand.
Rising high to throw that one down.
Sky high, fantastic one-hand jam.
Nice way there, guys, to finish up that possession. I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Morris outside. Leonard brings the double team. Tucker the pass to Len. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
Here's Tucker. And it's off from three-point range. Spurs trail by 5. Knocked loose. Bledsoe outside. Morris with the screen for Bledsoe. Up top, Morris. And the foul called on Kawhi Leonard.
That's his second personal. Phoenix timeout.
And the Suns call time. Phoenix had a season of heartbreak last year. So many losses for them on last-second shots. Late-game losses, Greg. Buzzer beat.
Yeah, it's sad if you're a Phoenix fan. How many times this team lost at the buzzer? Just close games in general. Of their 42 losses, how about 18 were by 5 points or less?
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Jeff Hornacek had to say to his team. He was propping his guys up for their defensive pressure, saying, listen, the pressure you've put on them has been fantastic. Keep pestering them, keep forcing turnovers, and we'll be in a great position to win this thing.
Thanks a lot, Doris.
You know, trying to think back on all of the last-second losses for the Suns last year, guys. Heck, the Clippers, Milwaukee, Houston, the Grizzlies, Kings, and Warriors. Ouch.
Morris kicks to Weems. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. There's Green with the three. Makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
You know, what is worse for the Suns in last year's buzzer beaters? A lot of them were from big men. Griffin hits a 3, Cousins hits a deep 2. Big men hitting big shots against them. At least they know it can't be as bad this year.
Morris. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Morris has got 10 points here in the second half. Parker drives in. He kicks to Diaw. Back to Parker. They get it back. Diaw can't hit.
And this is why you need good defenders on the interior to contest shots.
Yeah, Greg, making every shot a hard one, even the shots in close.
Outside Knight. Shot clock at 6. Here's Morris. And a strong finish with 2 hands.
Assist from
Heads-up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
And it's Aldridge missing. Phoenix leading by 8. Here's Weems. Here's Morris. And it's Phoenix scoring again.
And it looks like just playing the last bit of this one out in what should be a nice win here for Phoenix.
They enjoyed a big boost from the strong play of their bench.
Yeah, I thought the subs came in and did an outstanding job, Kevin. Those points off the bench were huge.
And so that moves their record to 11 wins on the year.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for Morris. It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket seemed as wide as a barrel.
that's his second
So the first one drops, and that brings them within single digits. Tim Duncan, he's checked in for San Antonio. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Manu Ginobili. And the Suns here with a different look. Mirza Teletovic is checked in for Alex Len. T.J. Warren comes in for P.J. Tucker. Booker, he's checked in for Sonny Weems. And it's Price in for Brandon Knight. And here's Morris for 3. Tipped away. Teletovic dishes to Morris. The fader. No luck.
Unnecessary to go to the fadeaway there. It wasn't needed. Could have just kept it simple and taken the easy shot.
So it's Phoenix picking up the win. They came in here and took care of business like they were the home team.
And Kevin,